I'm bringing you step-by-step information about the hurricane season. 6:30 p.m. every Monday here on Kyrie FM. Come on, let's all ride the storms together.
It is 6:30 on Monday evening, and you know what that means. It is another episode of Riding the Storms. My name is Tishon Gomes, and we'll be here talking all things weather as we aim to ride the storms together. This episode is sponsored through the kind compliments of J. Asafan and Company Limited and Fine Foods Incorporated. We will be right back after these messages.
Can your roof withstand the test of time, weather conditions, and keep you covered? Well, J. Astafan's Home and Building has you covered with quality roof sheeting. Available in a variety of colors and sizes, our roof sheeting is perfect for both industrial and commercial use. And guess what? Not only are we keeping you covered, we're saving you money with 50% off. Shop today at our Canefield Distribution Center. Call 237-2744 or 255-2792. Offer valid while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. J. Astafans. Right place, right price.
Welcome to Fresh Market Pharmacy, home for all your essential over-the-counter medications, health and personal care items, prescription drugs and natural supplements, trusted products, experienced pharmacists, and the lowest prices. Call us 255-6883, WhatsApp 613-1342. For delivery service, contact 613-2910. At Fresh Market Pharmacy, maintaining your health is important.
The hurricane season is here. Being prepared can help you and your family minimize the impact of the adverse weather conditions. Here's a few hurricane preparedness tips from Fine Foods. Know all evacuation routes if you live close to the coast. Have a first aid kit and prescription drug supplies on hand. If you need to evacuate, bring these supplies with you. Have plenty bottled water, batteries, and flashlights. Always have plenty of non-perishable items on hand. Be prepared. A few hurricane preparedness tips by Fine Foods, the biggest distributor of the biggest brands.
Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George 5th Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
And we are back with Riding the Storms. In today's episode, we welcome back a very special guest coming from the Dominica Meteorology Service. His name is Mr. Marshall Alexander. I'd like to welcome you, Mr. Alexander, first. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening to you. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir. How are you doing today, sir?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me say good evening to you and good evening to all the listeners. It's good to be here on this program, and I want to say a special good evening to all the hardworking Met officers out there. Some of whom may be listening to the program. Like to ask them to continue their dedicated service. They are doing a very good job despite the challenges. Well, basically, I just like to say that the Met Service operates under the Ministry of National Security, headed by the Minister Honorable Braden Blackmore, and Permanent Secretary, Ms. Joan Commodore. The Met Service, I'm the Acting Senior Met Officer um, of the Met Service, and I'm the one responsible for the administrative processes of the Met Service, as well as one in coordination during the hurricane season. So far, the hurricane season is not yet over. As you know, it runs from the 1st of June to the 30th of November every year. And so far, it has been a relatively good season for us, I can say.
Indeed, and we might as well call ourselves, I wouldn't say lucky that we haven't had any severe damages, but we have pretty much went through the season unscathed. However, that has not been the case for other regions. So we know that the season will officially end next Tuesday, November 30th. However, we need to know about the statistics, so to say, given that the season is coming to a close and it is not expected that any more tropical systems may form during that time. Could you provide an update in terms of the numbers throughout this season?
Well, in terms of, I would start from the predictions that was done early on in the season. To begin with, the prediction done by NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, on the 20th of May. That was the pre-season forecast, which called for an above normal season with 13 to 20 named storms expected, of which 6 to 10 were expected to become hurricanes, and 3 to 5 expected to become major hurricanes of categories 3 and above. And then we had the prediction in August, that was the 4th of August, done by NOAA again. And the prediction was for an above normal season with a slight increase in the numbers, and it went up to 15 to 21 named storms, of which 7 to 10 expected to become hurricanes, and 3 to 5 expected to become major hurricanes of categories 3 and above. So far, we've seen the naming of 21 named storms so far. Yeah.
And it just so happens to be that we have exhausted all the 21 names that are originally put forth every single year by NOAA.
Yes, we have exhausted the 21 names put forth by NOAA. However, there is a subsequent list of names that will be used. So that list of names will begin. If there's another development, then we'd have to start using that other list of names. So the totals, I would say, was 21 named storms, and of those 21 named storms, we had 7 of those systems becoming hurricanes, and 4 of those systems becoming major hurricanes. And as I mentioned, those categories 3 and above.
Very well said. I remember when you were here earlier in the season, we did mention that the number of storms will increase, and you gave the analogy of stones being thrown, and that the number of storms may not necessarily say where they are going to, but if there is if there is a prediction for an above average season, it is very likely that many regions will be affected by these ravaging storms. But we have been lucky that when the stones were thrown throughout the season, that we did not get, in terms of in Dominican terms, we didn't get pelted a lot with the stones.
And as I mentioned, when you have a prediction, the prediction is not a landfall prediction. It's basically for the development or the formation of storms, but it doesn't tell you exactly where the storms are expected to make landfall. So that is where the prediction trick of the prediction comes into play. Because, but the thing about it is that if you have more storms developing, then obviously that would increase the probability of having a landfall, especially across Dominica. But with God's guidance, I guess things work out for the best.
Yes, that is very true. We must give thanks to God, because without Him, all of these wouldn't be possible, and we have to remember that even though we are 4 years past from Maria, we are still trying to become a climate resilient country. We are still trying to recover, get back on track, and become the country that we have dreamt of for many years.
Just to run through the list of named storms so far. We had Anna, which went from May 22nd to the 23rd, and it remained a tropical storm. Then you have Bill, which went from June 14th to 15th, also remaining a tropical storm, and Claudette also a tropical storm, which went from June 19th to 22nd. Then we had Danny, which went from June 27th to 29th, also remaining a tropical storm. And with that name Danny, I recall 2015, because in 2015 we had Danny, and then we had Erica. Um, Danny was before Erica in 2015, and based on the naming structure, the names are recycled every 6 years. So 2016 to 2021 would be that 6 year cycle, and bearing in mind that Danny didn't cause any great destruction or take any lives, then that name would be reused. So as you see there in 2021, it is being reused. Um, and it affected the US, I think somewhere in Georgia, South Carolina. And then Danny, after Danny, we had Elsa. Elsa went from July 1st to the 9th. And Elsa is one of the systems which posed a challenge for us in Dominica during the year. And it went on to became a Category 1 hurricane, and it affected Dominica to a certain extent. Then we had Fred from August 11th to the 18th, and it remained a tropical storm. Then we had Grace from August 13th to the 21st, and it became a Category 3 hurricane. Then we have Henri, which is a French name, from August 16th to the 23rd, and maintained Category 1 hurricane status. And then for the year, we had the strongest hurricane, which was Ida, which became a Category 4 hurricane. It affected countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Cayman Islands, and Cuba, and also the United States. And it also went up to the Canada area. And then we had Kate in August 28th to September 1st, and it was a tropical storm. Then we had Julian, which went from August 28th to the 30th, and also remained a tropical storm. And then we had Larry, August 31st to September 11th, and it became a Category 3 hurricane, which is a major hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. Then we had Mindy in September 8th to the 10th, which remained a tropical storm. And after Mindy, we had Nicholas from September 12th to the 16th, which was a Category 1 hurricane, and it happened around the Mexico area, the Gulf area. Then Odette, which remained a tropical storm. Peter was also a tropical storm, and then we had Rose, a tropical storm, and then we had Sam. And Sam seemed like during the year that he didn't want to. There was no sign of dissipation with Sam. Sam stayed around from September 22nd to October 5th, and it went on to become a Category 4 hurricane. So we had Ida and Sam being the strongest hurricanes for the season, which were both Category 4 hurricanes. And then September 24th, we had Teresa, which was a subtropical storm. And then we had Victor, a subtropical storm usually formed in the area of up north of close to the area of Bermuda. And then we had Victor in September 29th to October 4th, in a tropical storm. And the last system which formed was Wanda, which was from October 31st to November 7th. That storm, I guess, most people didn't hear about that storm in Dominica because of where it was located. So that is basically a summary of what happened for the season with the storms for the 21 days.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alexander. We're going to take a break to listen to our sponsors. This is Riding the Storms with myself, Tishon Gomes, and our host, Mr. Marshall Alexander. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Can your roof withstand the test of time, weather conditions, and keep you covered? Well, J. Astephan's Home and Building has you covered with quality roof sheeting. Available in a variety of colors and sizes, our roof sheeting is perfect for both industrial and commercial use. And guess what? Not only are we keeping you covered, we're saving you money with 50% off. Shop today at our Canefield Distribution Center. Call 237-2744 or 255-2792. Offer valid while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. J. Astephan's. Right place, right price.
Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George 5th Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Revitalize your home with a burst of fresh and uplifting aromas from the Beep line of products. Every Beep product will delight you with its quality and is sure to help take the chore out of housework. Use the entire Beep range and your home will thank you. Beep. Want value? Smart choice. Protect yourself and family by using Beep Disinfectant Spray. Not only does it kill 99.9% of bacteria and mold, Beep Disinfectant Spray also kills the hepatitis A virus and flu viruses, including H1N1. Available in 3 delightful fragrances.
And we are back with Riding the Storms with myself, Tishan Gomes, and our host, Mr. Marshall Alexander. So, Mr. Alexander, earlier this year when you were previously on Riding the Storms, you mentioned that the Met Office was working on a few instruments and infrastructure that will aid in weather forecasting here in Dominica. Can you give us an update on the infrastructure that you mentioned? Mr. Alexander, I just noticed that your microphone is muted, so I did not catch what you just said.
Sorry about that. Now, I was saying, in terms of the network, we have the construction of a new Met Office building in Jimit. That's done on the DPRP project, which is Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project at Government of Dominica. And also, we have the installation of a network of weather stations around the island, and that is a network of 44 automatic weather stations to include river measurement stations, also that will be water level stations, rainfall stations, and fully automatic weather stations. So some of these stations are expected to be installed in strategic points around Dominica, and work is ongoing on that. And with COVID-19, we had a few delays in terms of the installation, but work is ongoing in terms of the actual physical construction that is associated with the installation of those stations around the island. So that is going to increase our capacity as it relates to the amount of data we would get around island, and that will aid also in our analysis, because with limited stations around the island, on doing an analysis, we would not be able to get a clear picture as to the average activity around the island, and probably even areas of maximum rainfall, areas of maximum and minimum temperatures, etc. But with that network of stations, you would be able to get a better analysis of where exactly you would have areas of maximum rainfall, for example. So it would also aid our early warning system, because we would have rain gauges located at strategic areas, like probably higher up a river, and then lower down you would have river water level measurements. So when you have the rainfall taking place in the upper levels, like in the heights or in the interior, and then you have a, a rise in the water level in a certain area, then that will guide that an early warning system and will trigger an alarm that would give a warning to probably persons living downstream in an area that would be vulnerable to flooding. So there would have to be thresholds that would be set up that would allow an alarm to be triggered based on the amount of rainfall measured by the rain gauge, and based on the rise in the water level, as read by the water level station.
Very good information, Mr. Alexander. And I am sure that hopefully in the next hurricane season we can see these instruments being put in action. But before we leave here this evening,
And let me just
go
add,
ahead.
also, we are receiving or have received some weather stations from the UNDP, yeah, which is the United Nations Development Program, and these stations will be installed to aid to the weather station network as well.
Very well, sir. Before we leave, I know that the hurricane season is officially ending next week, but we know that next year, God willing, in June of 2022, the new season will begin. So, in the downtime between now and next season, what are some tips that you can give the listeners and the public in terms of how to prepare, given that there will is a downtime until June, hopefully next year? What are some tips that you can give the public?
Well, you see, in that with downtime, I don't know if it's really, if we really have downtime, because we still have to continue recording data throughout the year. That data would be necessary, can be used by engineering department or other sectors, which would require that information for building construction or other uses. Um, as I always say, the hurricane season comes once a year, and that is the official hurricane season. However, there are systems which can affect us outside of the hurricane season, and sometimes we can go for a season not being affected by any systems at all, and then out of the season you might find that a trough system might cause more harm to us than we got during the actual hurricane season. So that is why I always advise persons to always be prepared even outside of the hurricane season, because the hurricane season is just comes there's a fixed time for the hurricane season officially. So we have to be prepared both inside and outside of the hurricane season.
I like the term in.
Another thing, during our downtime, we tend to stress on public education. That is the time we really get to really go around and to give information to the public. We go to the various schools, various communities, um, and community groups, village councils, and so on, to do public education activity, and to really educate the public as to, weather events, the different terms that we use, the meaning of different terms, and how to respond. We also have a vigilant system, um, which we place on our website, where we have different colors that would represent different levels of warning. So that is something we need to educate the public about, or vigilance level. So So during our downtime, we could take the opportunity to educate people about that vigilance level, which is a weather warning guide, where we have colors like green, yellow, um, magenta, and red. So, or amber. Amber would be the colors of green, yellow, amber, and red. So when we have green, that would say that there's no severe weather expected. When we have yellow, then you have to be aware of the situation. And for um, amber would mean be prepared, and for red would mean take action. And red is the most serious ones, where you have to take all the necessary precautions to protect your life. Now, just to mention, during the season, or in July, on the 2nd of July, we issued a tropical storm warning for Dominica, and that is the time that we have our warning system. That's the time that we exercised our warning system. Was during the passage of Hurricane Elsa, which underwent some rapid development um, because of
Yeah.
the issuance of winds from the Barbados Met Service.
Yeah.
So the Barbados Met Service recorded sustained winds of greater than 74 miles per hour that would categorize a hurricane, and as a result, um, it issued a tropical storm warning for Dominica, and Elsa passed basically to the south of Dominica.
Yes, sir.
One of the most, that is one of the events we could highlight for the season was Hurricane Elsa, and then we had an
Okay,
event
so
on the 2nd of August.
Mr. Alexander, I am very sorry to want to interject in what you're saying, but we're almost out of time and we have another show coming up in a few minutes. But I'd really like to thank you for the information. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here with us and instruct and being the good work that you have been doing for the past times, okay? So thanks for being here with us. Thanks for the listeners. Hopefully next time around we'll have you again because you are very informative. But keep doing the good work, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of the week, the rest of the year. Okay, sir?
Oh, all right, no problem. It's a pleasure being here. I mean, I hope to be able to get the opportunity to share some more information on the program.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll see you again. Take care. Okay, sir?
Listeners.
And that was Mr. Marshall Alexander from the Met Office. It is now 6:59 p.m. Live Your Life With Olivia is coming up in about 1 minute. Those of us who are still here, stay tuned for Live Your Life with Olivia. This is Tishan Gomes signing out.